Hi, my name's Jeff. Jeff's Used Appliances. Now this thing isn't about used appliances, it's about plugs if you live in Spain, right? Because Spanish plug sockets look like this, right? And Spanish plugs essentially look like this, right? Now to get one of these to work with one of these, a standard British plug with a big pin in the middle, you've got to get this to go in there, and as you can imagine, it's not going to go in very well. So what we have to use is a converter and adapter. Now this is a standard Spanish adapter, right? It's got the obvious, push that in there, and then this will quite happily push into the plug. So now everything's nice and good. Now there's a point of this video which could save your life, and I really mean that. This isn't like clickbait rubbish. Now this is a different type of converter adapter, but if you notice, this one is a lot flatter. Now the thing is, it looks better because when this goes into your plug socket, right, get it without popping the socket, and this goes in the socket, the difference is this one with the plug in it, right, sticks quite a way out. This one is about that far further in. Cosmetically, these are more attractive, but what the problem is simple. When these adapters are used, this plug goes into this adapter, and what happens is the earth from the British plug there goes into the hole and it contacts with this metal part here. Now that's basically where the earth connection is on the plug. So we've got this bit, now there's a little bit of a gap there, it dips in, and on the other end it goes in as well. Not far, right, but it definitely, there's a little slot. Now that coincides with these little things on the plug. Now these are the earth tags on the Spanish plug, right? So that when you put this in, right, I'll just take this plug off because it's just in the way. When you put this in the socket, those two tags, they fit in these slots. So that's where the tags go. So when you push it in, it just goes in. And when you push this in, fits perfectly. Now, if you use this type, what happens is you've got your appliance, you've got whatever you're going to use, you push the, now that fits quite nicely in the adapter, but if you notice, a little wire, if you notice the pin from the, I'll just do that again, the pin from the English plug now goes into this slot and basically fills it. So now it's actually a little bit proud. So what happens is when you put this plug, the other side's okay because there's only one earth tag, the earth pin. When you put this into a Spanish socket, what happens is usually they might go in first, second time, but there's come a time very, very quickly when you put this in there, it won't go in. So what happens is, because this is in the wall, what everybody does when they can't get a plug to go in, and a lot of people say, oh no, I never do that, but yes you do. When it won't go in, now there it's going in there, right, but if you notice, it's still slightly at an angle. It's not in all the way. Now what happens is, let's try to take this out. What happens is you will put this in the wall one day, or one of your kids or the family, and what they do is they push it in and it won't go in. So they push it Now what happens is, if you notice now, that earth pin there is bent, as you can see. That one's just nice and sort of bendy over, but this one is bent. Now what happens is, if you turn this Spanish plug, you can turn Spanish plugs over. So if you do turn this over to put it in the other way round, what happens is you will just bend the other pin. Now what happens is, when that pin's bent, we put the plug in and it doesn't want to go in, right? So no, I changed the direction, so I've even made it worse by trying to put it in the other way up, which is what most people do. Because I've been here 35 years and it's what I used to do. So now we put it in, it won't go in properly. So what happens is, this plug in your appliance, you push it in, you give it a good squeeze. Now, that'll do. Now the thing is, it looks like it's in, but obviously it's not, because you can see the way it's, and of course this just falls out now. That pin has actually been flattened. There's no way, I used to work as an electrician years ago, there's no way you can get that to work. You have to take the plug to bits, take all the metal out, bend it into shape, and then of course the first time somebody puts one of these in, they'll bend it again. Now of course, look on YouTube, on Google, how much does it cost to change a plug socket? And the end result is that it's expensive. So advice, when you've got one of these plugged into your machine, whatever it is, and it's loose, the earth pin is not making a solid contact, nor are the two pins they've got to be in to make it work. Now this won't even go in properly now. The other type, it'll, and if you notice, if we just wiggle it a bit, what happens is it jumps out. Now of course, this is not what you want in your house. This other type of adapter, the other type, the one that broke the plug, that will push in that far, but again, it's not in enough to be safe. So what happens is, if you're not careful, you put your plug in, it wiggles loose, it starts to spark, and your house burns down. So Jeff's Used Appliances, I hope seriously that people take notice of this, because in Spain, it's a very, very common problem with people who come out to Spain from Britain, for instance, and they bring English appliances and just buy a bunch of adapters. But as I say, this type of adapter will work, right? The type with the body that sticks out, this type, right? This type with this will just wreck all your plug sockets, right? So now we know that's the one to do it. They're about the same price, so it doesn't make any odds that direction. And I hope that people who listen won't burn the house down and murder their family. So anyway, if you like this, leave a like and a subscribe if you can. And I'm just going to keep up putting this kind of stuff, because I live in Spain. I've lived here 35 years, and there's a lot of little idiosyncrasies about living in Spain, not necessarily to do with plugs. So I'll keep them up. Okay? See you later. Bye.